we're gonna talk about the psychological contract in the workplace. In the video that we have just watched, we had an overview about it. And the idea is really to discuss the topic and exchange ideas and learn from it. And I like to bring videos just so we can warm up our listening skills and try to bring something from it. So um, let's just start. And in the other room, please present yourself. Is always important to present yourselves. Picture this as a brand awareness about yourself. And this is not a class. I'm not a teacher. We are not here to correct anyone, just to talk and to practice. This is a training session where you can develop your speaking and listening skills. So let's keep focus on it. Okay. So Diogo, Erica, and Eduino, you're going to the other room. Daphne and Lurian, you're gonna stay with me. You're gonna stick with me here in the main room. Okay. So let's go. All right. So let's get this started. Lurian, can you present yourself, please? So we can
Yes,
start.
good morning, everyone. I'm Luria. I live in Belo Horizonte and I'm 34 years old. I started here in Talk and Talk to learn French, and I just discovered this community that we can improve our language, we can work in our soft skills too. I have two dogs that don't have any kids. I like to enjoy life because I think it's really important to think about our dreams, but also think about what you want for now and enjoy the present. And I something new about me is because I'm trying to be a person more sportive. That I need to think about my health, so I'm trying to do more exercise recently. So that's it. I don't know if I can say this next week or the other week, but for now, I'm really happy with the results and with my routine. Thank you.
Very good, Lurian. Thank you so much. I'm gonna put my camera closed just because everybody's with the camera closed as well. So let's see how it goes. Daphne, can you present yourself?
Yes, good morning, guys. Thank you for having me. I'm 29 years old. I study psychology. I'm married. I live in Scotland, but I was born in Sorocaba, São Paulo, in Brazil. I've been living here for 10 years, and I'm here because I want to unlock my English and to make new friends.
Very good, Daphne. Thank you. Well, I'm Philip, and I have started hosting back this 6 a.m. meetings just to create a new routine. And for me, it's easier to stick to other people instead of my own. Sometimes, especially when it comes to waking up early in the morning. I have tried this before, worked well, and I'm trying it back again. And this month, especially, we're gonna have these meetings at 6 a.m. until the end of May. And let's get started with the topic. So, have you ever heard about this psychological contract? Did you understand what is it all about? Daphne, I'm gonna start with you. Have you ever heard about this psychological contract? How can you explain on your own words?
Yes, I've heard, I have. I think it's about your profile, your standards, thoughts, and they value you before to get a job, and they see how you behavior under pressure, I think is it. I don't know.
Yeah, and there are a lot of we have a psychological contract like everywhere we go, I guess, right? Things that are not uh people do not say it, but it's not a good behavior to do or not, you know, something like that.
Okay, got it.
And you, Lorian, have you ever thought about it?
I heard, but I not exactly with this name, but I did a small research, and I agree with you. I think we have this kind of contract, like things unwritten, one saying that we need to discover sometimes, but at the same time we have expectation about that. So when we talk about employee, this environment, corporative environment, an employer and an employee, I I think I can give my perspective is that I expect to be respected. I I really want to work in a nice environment without judgment, without prejudice, you know. And I think in the side of the company, they expect a professional that can work well, that can deal with depression, deal with the deadline for everything. So maybe with a lot of emotional intelligent emotional right emotional intelligence. So I think it's a kind of is in the air, if I understand well this. It's it's all the expectations that you have in the other side, in the other part of this relation, but it's not something you say, something you write, something you let the other one to be aware of, to be clear of the situation. And maybe because of that we have a lot of frustration, right?
Yeah.
But in my researches, I think this, if I can summarize, it was about it.
Yeah, I think yeah, in the workplace there are certain things that when you have experience, you get that and you know how to do things. Remember when I started working for the first time, um, there was a woman, she said, "Oh, the boss, he likes to hire people without experience, so it's easier to develop, it's easier to work and this and that." And this is kind of a psychological contract, some ways, I guess, because you build trust, there is engagement around it, um, and I guess it's more, you know, I don't know, it's easier when you get someone fresh to start in a business, so you can develop, or there's no previous experience to influence the environment in some way. So my question is, do you girls remember when you first started working, what you had to learn about this psychological contract between the company and yourself that you didn't know before? Um, what you what which behavior you had to change, or what you had to do to fit in the workplace? It's a question that's not in here. I'm just creating a new one. Lurian, do you have anything about it? Do you remember anything about your first experience working, or um, doing something for a business or for someone that you can share with us?
Yes. So in my first experience, I was about 18 years old. I remember it was a moment that I really didn't know how to start a new job. a cousin of mine helped me to get this job, and I remember I was studying too, so it was a new word for me for both of things, because I was studying in the morning. I graduated in administration, business, and after during the afternoon and the night, I was um, I was working, and I remember like I was so innocent. I can give you a story about, when you have you are, oh my god, you are not good of health, you have some kind of diseases. um what you do for normally for company, right? Like young people, you go to the doctor, you take a certificate that you cannot work, and you give this to the company for stay at your place for 2, 3, 4 days, I don't know. And I worked in a company, it was a telemarket company. So this, it was so common there. And I remember that once I was with conjunctivitis, and I went to the doctor. The doctor gave to me a certificate. I think it was like 3 or 4 days too. And I went to work. And no one knew about that, but you cannot do this because the company can be charged because of that. But I was so restricted of the contract, I need to work. I didn't know a lot of things. And after the situation with my conjunctivitis, my eyes was worse, and I said, I went to the doctor already, and they said, but so you can be at home because they didn't give you like a certificate. And I said, yes, Lure, what are you doing here? So I remember, at least in my first experience, I was this, if I can say, this contract about what the things I expect, the thing I believe. It was about something really closet. I need to be there. I need to work. I cannot have free time for me. And I worked almost 7 days per week because it was telemarket. So I was so afraid in the same time. And they expect that because they all the time they said, you need to work more, you need to do my interviews, you need to call for more people. And this was affecting me in this side. And I remember, even for a doctor, I could understand, separate the relation about my work and about the company. And after that, this changed me a lot. I start to get more smart. I don't know if I answer, but it's something that I really remember about my first work, and all this contract that you don't know, you don't read that in the contract. You just leave for after you understand.
Yeah, it's in there. Nobody talks about it, but it there is something. Taina, do you know do you have anything about it that you lived in your first experience working or even living abroad, you know?
Yes, I had some experience. I worked as a telemarketing, and they did a psychological test to see how I would react to pressure. And they told me I would receive training, but I never receive it, and the pressure growing more, and they left there because it was insane. It's very unfair because I had a lot of pressure, but I didn't have the help to sell or to support me at the time. And it was it.
Great. And what about work, living abroad? Is there anything that, like, not a psychological contract in the workplace, but is there anything when you start living abroad, is there anything that You know, there's a rule because you are an immigrant. Um, is there anything like related to this?
Yeah, I face a little bit preconception because I was a Brazilian. Um, I had the low salary. I needed to work more, and the boss always give me the worst work.
Yeah. And this is something that people they don't tell, but when you are in another country, you get the you don't get the best jobs, right? The best opportunities to start with, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I always lost the good jobs because I am Brazilian, and they look at you like you are weak, weak, and dumb. I don't know if I'm right, but it was my first impression, and I needed to take the building the trust, give my best every day, while the others employees needed just in the basic and had the regards.
Yeah. It's sad to have that. Um when I when I when I went to US to work, like I had a Brazilian company behind me. Um and there, like the company sent me to US to work for a project. And I remember that like it was very clear I was Brazilian. I wasn't American. So because of that, I didn't have too many options to talk or to connect with other people. And the people I connected the most, they were also immigrants, you know, especially from Asia. So I get to connect better with people that, you know, you do not create a bond with someone that is Native American, if we can say that expression. You start having friendships with people that kind of they are in the same level as you know, they are also immigrants. They do not speak English as first language and things like that. So um this is yeah, this is something I don't see a lot of people talking about that like in I'm on LinkedIn every day and I have never seen something like that, you know. Yeah, Lorian, I know your camera is it's not
Sometimes I try it,
okay,
sorry.
no problem. And what about remote work? Do you girls work remotely? Daphne, do you work from home or you work in the office?
In office, I'm work at warehouse.
Okay. But have you ever had a remote job experience?
Yes, in the pandemic season, I had this experience. It was good because I don't need to do uh, a force with my body. It was good.
Yeah. In the I'm gonna ask a question about the remote environment. Is there the same psychological contract, especially like when pandemic hit, um, we had to change and we have to shift from the office to the online world. Was it the same psychological contract, the same rules, the same behavior? And let me go with Lurian first. Um, do you remember in the pandemic, was it the same like working online as we do today, was there any psychological contract around the workplace itself in the remote environment, or no? It was totally different.
I think it was different because of other reasons. So first, I work from home now, but not in the same company that I worked when pandemic starts. And this company that I work at changed the methodology because of pandemic. So they send like chairs, laptops, everything for everyone. And after 3 months of pandemic, I remember it was in June, we just had a meeting, extraordinary one, and they said from now everyone is working remote, work in a remote place. So we are remote right now. So everyone loved it in the beginning, but these things about this contract, it was for me and for everyone. I think we are discovering that because in the same time that you have this flexibility, I love because I can have more quality time. I can be here now because of that. Because otherwise, I remember I spent 2 hours to go to my office every day. So I really love it. But in this contract, there was something about the productivity that you need to deliver the results, and this is normal. But how they will certificate, how they will check what are you doing. In my case, my boss was really free around that. She said that she she will see the results, and for her was enough. But of course, you have other ones that they like to have more control about that. They like to see if you are sitting in your chair. My other boss, she said, Luria, if you deliver me what you need to deliver, the results, I don't care if you are working in the night. I don't care if you are working uh, just 4 hours per day. You are doing your job. Your salary is for that, so you need to bring these results. But the other one, no, they want to have meetings like 8 a.m. Monday to see if everyone is working. So all this situation um, was weird for us because of pandemic. We were in lockdown. We were in and the moment that I changed my work, that time I changed it, and I was so afraid about that because pandemic, oh my god, I don't know what. So what I did, I work a lot because I was at home, because I could, because I didn't have anything to do. So I start to work a lot. I work more than, like, I remember one day I work all the night, the early hours too of the night. I slept 1 hour, and after I wake up again to work. So all these make this feeling about I need to work, I need to deliver, I need to be someone here. And after, guess what? The cooperative thing calls strong there, and um, they started a new work environment. Now it's hybrid, right? So we need to go 3-2, 3-2. It's depend of the week. I didn't like that, but I got fired. And that time I was in Argentina, and I remember I was really happy to be out of this environment that they don't know what they want. They just did a big change about the people there, about the I forgot the name for that, but the X structure in general, for director, manager, like this leadership, leader. And I remember this really make me free about that. So now I work from home, really home. My company is from São Paulo, but actually is a company from Alemanha, Germany, and I don't have this anymore. Like they work until 6 p.m. every day. If I'm there, it's really hard because of if I'm there, it's hard because I want to work more sometimes, and everyone is off. No, so I'm trying to learn the new contract, the psychology contract, and this company right now understand the behaviors, what they expect. I just started now 4 months ago. So
Yeah, and
sorry, I speak a lot, but it's that.
no
So
problem,
we
no
need
problem.
to change our mentality. We need to discover everything every time, and always we can learn something new about.
Yeah, and I think the work time, the work schedule, it's the classic example of a psychological contract because when you work in a company in Brazil, if you leave at 6 p.m., that's the end of the work hour. You're not a good employee. You're not wearing the shirt of the company, if we can say that in English, or something like that. And I have heard lots of things around that when I had to leave at 6 to go to college. Oh, you're not motivated. Why you're leaving at 6 and this and that. So this kind of joke that puts you in your place. So yeah. And Daphne, do you have an example of the contract you have, like the psychological contract you have at your job nowadays that it's not written, it's not said, but you know it's there, you know it's like, or any example or anything that comes to your mind?
Mm, yeah. I worked at the shopping, and I needed to do many hours, and I didn't have I didn't have time to study, no have time free time, and I was realized that I didn't have to leave because I needed to just work, and I started to think it's worth to living abroad, but I didn't leave because my work asked me a lot of hours. So and I got the conclusion that I needed to left there, and I find another job where I earn loss, but I have more time to live, and I prioritize my mental health than salary.
Yeah. I think we achieve an experience and a moment in life where the salary, the income, the earnings we have, they are important, of course, so we can make a living, but it's not everything.
Exactly.
And for me, it's pretty much like that in like 10 years ago when I decided to quit my career in IT. Like money, it's not everything. There were more than that, and a life out of the bank where I worked, and more things to explore, to browse. And I know it's a privilege to do so, to try to find a purpose on what you do and everything else. Most people they don't have this choice, but yeah, I cannot blame myself because of other people's choice or lives. So I try to do um, my part of my things, my stuff.
Yeah, the problem to live abroad, to work abroad, is the beginner, you are like a slaver. And
Yeah.
after the time, you need to work hard and then you achieve the good job, but it took time and you need to be patient because it's not easy in the beginner.
Yeah. I think the first experience abroad, it's the worst for everyone I have ever talked to, because you're people, they don't know you. It's kind of you create a new life, a new person of yourself. You need to start friendships from scratch. You need to build trust with other people. I'm not talking about the workplace environment, but also your neighbors or people to have a kind of emotional support, and I think this is the most complicated, in my opinion. The first experience abroad I had was really complicated because I had no one, like I was there just to work. And we didn't have Instagram, WhatsApp, this kind of social networks to help me out with this issue. So it was really complicated to build uh, a relationship with people. And the past experience in Canada that I spent a year almost, there I had a good chance to build friendship somehow, to have, kind of a relationship with other people. And that made a huge difference between the two experiences. So the psychological contract that we have in our lives when we are born is we have friends, we have people that we trust, we have, a scenario where we can watch over and see like a perspective. So there are a lot of things that are not taught, they're not said, people do not talk about, but they are there. Let me bring a question here. Yeah, the topic, I brought these questions over an article on Harvard Business Review. So there are some concepts that are not uh, well explained in here, but let me go to question number 4. I think it's gonna work well. Why is a one size fits all approach to remote and hybrid work policies often unsuccessful? We're talking about this psychological contract that we can also say it's a policy. So, and the question is stating that one size fits all, policy for remote and hybrid doesn't work. Is there actually a policy that works for both environments, either remote or hybrid work or on-site, that work well for people? What is the kind of policy or the psychological contract that is positive for people in a way? Do you girls have an example? Because I'm thinking about this question. It doesn't come. I can't think about anything right now. Do you girls have anything about it? Luria, maybe?
Yes, I can think about one thing. The hybrid one, I'm not so sure because in the end is almost like if 3-2, you need to have a contact with your colleagues, with your team. But for when it's totally remote, I think the big challenge, and that no one talk about that, is how we will work with your team, with the because um, you just talk in the meetings, or maybe the other one, if you need to solve something, you just call this person and we. But in the most of time, you are in your place without any contact with the company, with the values of the company, with the I remember when I worked before in the office, normally you have this kind of events to understand the company, the what the company is, what they want to be. And when you are at home, you receive like some kind of communicates of that. Sometimes you have a meeting that for everyone, but you don't have the presence, and no one talk about that. There is no contract by psychology contract about that. You just need to start to, oh, let me see how I will do here in this company now that I'm working, because in the other one I was totally different. So, and about the to see people, to take a coffee, to have a lunch together. This didn't happen. So someone or a group of people, I don't know, a company, they they study this for the employees, for if you work from home it's like that, if you work in the office it's like that. No, we just need to work about that, to think about that. I remember when we need to say something about someone, we have a meeting in my other company. The name was Coffee with Tears, Coffee com Lágrimas, because you need just to go there and say something because of this environment that. So I don't know. I think we need to work more in emotional intelligence. We work in this kind of environment. Like I said, we have a lot of good things: flexibility, quality time. I really like this, but looks like you need to work more about other things that was normal before. So now we need to discover what is the best option for you. And I remember when I work in hybrid one, this I can share. The days I went to the office, I didn't work. It was not a productive day because I was taking 5 coffees per day to see my friends, to see my colleagues. In the lunchtime, I spent 2 hours there just in the restaurant. So no one liked it to go there because you couldn't work. Because so I worked 3 days, and 2 days I went to the office. I didn't. So all if I think the experience about people is affecting more the psychology contract when you work from home or not.
Yeah. And I think these policies, I think it's better to say policy than psychological contract.
Yes,
Easier to say.
it is bad. Psychology,
Yeah,
contract, yes, policy is
pronunciation.
better.
It's harder. Daphne, do you remind any policy that works fine for both hybrid or on-site or remote work?
Yes, I remember one enterprise where I worked. They they had the mindset of um, prioritizing just in the money and the marketing. The marketing of enterprise is most important than rights of the employees. And the environment, it was so poor because there wasn't respect, friendship, trusting. Um, you just in focusing make money, and I got depressed in there and anxiety because the pressure, it was a lot, and this politic, um, it was very harmful for me, for my sanity, mental sanity, and I avoid politics that said about adjusting our appearance, your marketing. I prioritize products that prioritize the well-being, benefits to employees.
Yeah, I think when we have, I think the businesses, the companies, they need to create intentionally policies that not create, but they need to listen people before creating policies, right? Otherwise, we're gonna be just like in an environment that's it's not too healthy, brings anxiety, turns into depression, and then it becomes a toxic place to work, you know. That's exactly what I try my best here, like as a culture of collaboration in the community, to not have teachers, to people, the students, they can decide the topic, especially topics that can create connections, not walls. And we haven't had any problems at all. The lifetime of the community, the platform. And this is like a policy somehow that we have, that's like we have a place that we can talk about anything, or even the topic. We don't want to talk about this topic, we want to go something else. It's okay. It 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 works. Sometimes I get feedbacks about, oh, we didn't discuss the topic and this and that, but it's like 0.1% of the time. And most of times the policy or the psychological contract that we have here on immersions is like to have a good time, to exchange ideas. When you're listening, listen carefully about what other people are speaking, especially the words, the expressions they use. Even they are used things that are not correct. That's an opportunity to learn as well. Because I see a lot of people, oh, I wanted to talk with native speakers. Oh, it's cool to talk with native speakers, but it's not everything, especially because um, it doesn't bring the chance to exchange, to control what you speak, you know. And in here we can learn by other people's mistakes, by other people's improvements, and so on. So I'm gonna bring the other room in here. And is there anything else about policies or psychological contract that Tainá, Lurian, you wanna bring up to here?
I just want to agree with you about what you said in the end. It was about to the employees they need to be listened. You know, you need to understand this environment, this impact. People are just working from home. This was normal before, but now it was increased a lot because of pandemic, because they discovered that it's cheap for the companies, but no one want to listen from the people, you know, from what do you want, they try the effect. I don't know, like if you are lucky you can find a company that the environment is good, but the most of time is not that is happening. So we need to listen the company, but we need to be listened to like for real, not just to feel like a form about something. Like I
Yeah,
want to be really listening, like I want to be heard, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's more
exactly.
about that. This is a work I think they need to think about.
Yeah. So, do you know, Diogo, Erica, we were talking about psychological contract. I don't know how hard it was because some of the questions they had previous concept that were written in an article it's not well explained in the topic. Erika, how can you summarize the topic you had in your room? Like not too long.
Okay.
but-
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Diogo and Domingos. It was amazing conversation. I haven't heard about this term, psychological contract, and I searched about last night. And in my searching, I saw that psychological contract is a writing on formal contract between employees and employers in order to improve the relationship between both. You discuss a lot about the working from home and work remotely because I think everyone are discussed about that because many companies after the pandemic time were asking for our employees to, not our employees, but the majority of them to return to the office. And you discuss a little bit about that because everyone, if it's possible, would you like to work remotely or in the hybrid concept. So, but when you talk about the ethics of justice and ethics of care for us, because I I haven't heard about these terms, but for us, it's important for our business promote the equality to the diverse in the company. In this time, I will talk about the ethics of the justice. But at the same time, when you think about the ethics of care, it's important as well to business to promote the well-being of the for each employees in order to improve the relationship between company, the employers and employees, and this can improve the productivity and the loyalty to employees if the company. So I think I will summarize in this way. Diogo and Domingos could add something.
Yeah, but I think you summarized very well explained. Domingos, do you have anything to add to Erica's answer?
Yes, I like it so much about these trending topics. I learned many concepts that I didn't know before, like psychological contract, ethic of justice, ethic of care. Uh, to resume, I understood that psychological contract is about the expectation of both sides, employee and employers, and it's not necessarily specified in the formal contract. It's very good. It's about the feelings, the expectation. Yes, and the ethic of justice is the way the company treats everyone in the same way, and the ethics of care is when the company or leader treats the individual feelings, individual way that the employer is in the company. It's very important. For example, in my company, I have one time in the month, one meeting with my leader to discuss about feedback of my job. Yeah, it's very important. I like it so much.
Very good, very good. So, we are running out of time, and tomorrow we have another topic to discuss. I don't know if you are aware of, but it's finding motivation at work during tough times. We have the questions, and we have a video from Simon Sinek. Usually I like to bring work topics, and career stuff. So we're gonna talk mainly about this topic at 6 a.m. Usually. Next week I'm thinking about the other topics. And if you have any suggestion, if you want to bring up a topic, I'm gonna ask you to do the following. Go to our website on the members area, go to community, and in there, bring a topic that you want to discuss. So go to Comunidade Inglês and then start a topic, create a topic. But do not just like, oh, I want to talk about learning English. Develop your idea. For example, new topic. And you can write in English, you can write in Portuguese, you can write, just in English or Portuguese. But try to bring your reasons why you want to talk about that. Bring material, bring articles, videos, anything that I or other hosts, they can work on that. Let's start using the community to share the things you want to talk, so we can hear all of you and what you wanted to talk about, okay? So for now, it's this. Duino, Diogo, and Lurian, and Erica, and Daphne, that she had to leave. Thank you so much for your time. I hope to see you back in tomorrow, same time, same place. Please book your immersion in there.